From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Good morning, everyone. Quite an active day for some of us, right? Not everyone saw the rain, not everyone saw thunderstorms, but there were some people that saw thunderstorms, not so bad, some showers. Others saw some heavy downpours, hail, frequent lightning, gusty winds. It just depends on where you are. Now, the area of low pressure that produced and helped produce those thunderstorms, along with the afternoon heating and convection, that area of low pressure has shifted to the east. So you see the flow around that area of low pressure. Now the clouds and the rain associated with those clouds are going to move from north to south. And we're going to see that here for pretty much everyone that sees the rain today. Take a look at the rain totals, and this is just a kind of the radar estimates that you're seeing there on the map there, and some of the totals that we see coming in from some of the National Weather Service offices. Now, this is a prime example of, number one, the reason why I don't typically like to show rainfall estimates during these types of storms. Because some people see 1 inch to 2 inches to 3 inches. Others see nothing at all. Others just see a few hundreds here and there. So it just depends on where you are. And sometimes it's as such a microclimate that it could be as much as someone across the street sees a lot more than others. So I've taken just a few spots here that were fairly impressive in some spots. Rancho Tehama in western Tehama County saw over 2.5 inches of rain yesterday. East Cottonwood, about 1.33. Out towards the city of Shasta Lake in proper on Shasta Dam Boulevard there, 1.12 inches. Northeast Redding, this was kind of near Shasta College, kind of in that general area, 1.11. But in West Redding, not too far from Mary Lake, as a matter of fact, about 0.59 inches. Southeast Red Bluff, this was on Highway 99 east of Red Bluff, and this was about 1/2 inch of rainfall. And then in Etna, did see about 1/4 inch of rainfall. So again, it just depends on where you are to kind of give you an idea of what we saw rainfall-wise. Take a look at some of these photos you shared. This was all shared on social media. Now, this one turned out to be a pretty high-resolution image. I want to thank Christina in Cottonwood for sharing this beautiful, beautiful photo of a rainbow. And that's pretty much expected when we see these evening storms. And this is courtesy of Dave. Not exactly sure where this was. Looks like a stock photo, quite honestly, but this is a pretty good example of what some of the skies looked like for some of you yesterday afternoon, and others, like William, again, didn't tell me where this was, but there were a lot of lightning strikes. Now, those right there are what we call cloud-to-cloud lightning strikes, but the one at the very bottom there looks like a cloud-to-ground lightning strike. So you can see some of these aren't so high resolution, and the best way to share your photos higher resolution is from the free Weather NorCal app. I can grab those just as easy as social media, and they are going to be much better quality. So share your photos from the free Weather NorCal app today. If you haven't done so already, download that free Weather NorCal app, search for Weather Space NorCal, and you can get the app today. All right, let's get to your Krueger's Quickcast here for your Thursday, September 11th. Now, here's some of the things we're going to talk about in the deeper dive forecast. Mainly thunderstorm free by Friday, dry and warmer by Saturday, possible coastal showers on Sunday, and then next week we got a bit of a warming trend with highs getting closer to normal for this time of the year. So out the door this morning, here's what we've got. Some fog in some areas here, especially some of those mountain and inland valleys. For the valley, I think you're dry, partly cloudy, as well as Siskiyou County and Modoc County also dry. Most of us are dry. But the area of low pressure is still going to help to produce some showers along with some of the daytime heating of the day. And the storms are today generally going to move from north to south. Now, I want to show you the HRRR forecast model because it is being much more aggressive with the potential for valley showers and thunderstorms than any other model. So there you see today at noon, still fairly dry, just partly to mostly cloudy skies. Then in the afternoon, we start to see those afternoon showers develop, but really you can see some heavier rainfall out towards Modoc County. Then the thunderstorms develop late, say sometime mid to late afternoon. I see some pretty strong thunderstorms up to the north, especially into northern Modoc County. But look at 9 o'clock this evening. See that shower and that thunderstorm kind of pushing through Redding, and then that will push southward and may even impact places like Red Bluff, but it dissipates as it heads southward. So based on this model, which if we were looking at the in-house forecast model, Futurecast, it wouldn't show this at all for the valley. So I'm at least including that potential. This is a weather-aware day again, just not as widespread with the showers and thunderstorms, so it's not going to be as bad. But I'm including at least a chance for a shower or maybe even a thunderstorm this evening for Redding and maybe as far south as Red Bluff. So there you can see the partly cloudy skies we do have in the valley. And as I mentioned, maybe a chance for a shower or thunderstorm for Redding, southward, and Red Bluff, but most of it I think will be in the mountains. And I think Trinity County, Siskiyou, Modoc, Lassen, Plumas, even the eastern Shasta County mountains, eastern Tehama County mountains as well. There's your 7-day forecast. So again, that chance for Redding. Dry by Friday and the weekend and next week. And notice next week, yeah, these cooler temperatures we've been experiencing, they're coming to an end and summer returns. There you can see for Weaverville, that chance for thunderstorms today, otherwise dry, maybe a shower or two on Sunday, especially in the morning on Sunday. Sunday afternoon, mostly dry for the coast, inland, and for Trinity County. Now for Siskiyou, Modoc, and the eastern mountains, still a lingering chance for a shower, maybe not thunderstorms, but maybe a shower or two for Modoc and Lassen counties Friday afternoon. Otherwise, mainly dry and partly cloudy. And then dry through the weekend, dry and getting warmer as we go through next week. All right, that's a look at your Krueger's Quickcast. Let's take a look at at what's going on with the fires out there. And this is sponsored by Garmin's Tractor Service. Now, I'm going to show you here the root fire. Now, there has been a lot of help from those, from the rain that we did see. Now, obviously, lightning's not the best thing. There was most likely a lightning-sparked fire just in western western Tehama County. From a couple of lightning strikes in that area, there was a fire that started. So we did see some of that with some of the lightning strikes that we did see, and there may be others we don't know about that haven't just shown up just yet. But we've got the root fire here. Look at this. Now we're up to 97% containment. So that's up. I believe it's up 10% since yesterday. The Dillon fire is now from 71 to 78% containment, but the acreage really hasn't changed much. This is as of yesterday at about 5:04 p.m. Now we're going to take a look at the blue fire. This is about 54% containment at 3,600. That's a bad number there. It shouldn't be a zero there. 3,625 acres. A bit of a typo, unfortunately, but it happens. Then we take a look at the log fire as of 8:44 yesterday morning, that is. So we're getting these updates now, not as frequently, and that's just because we're not seeing as much activity. Still 0% containment as of yesterday morning at a little over 1,000 acres. We take you out to the Lick fire, and you can see here, haven't seen much activity here either, 36 acres, but now at 95% containment. Taking a look at the Peak fire, and again, these fires haven't seen a lot of activity here over the last few days because of that rainfall that we have seen. But the Peak fire, the update wasn't since the 9th. 504 acres, 95% containment. Great to see that. This is the Cedar fire in Trinity County. There you can see 10 miles from Hay Fork, about 91 acres. 95% containment, but this also wasn't updated since the 9th of this month, so a couple of days ago. There you can see the Big Cliff fire. It hasn't been updated since August 29th, so really nothing new to report there. But the good news is we got a lot of that rainfall in many of these areas here, and that rainfall has really helped a lot of these firefighters and these fires, not necessarily putting them out, right? But we're seeing much larger containment numbers as a result, most likely from that rain, higher humidity, cool temperatures. And with that said, we're still in the wake of that. Even though we're not going to see as much rain and thunderstorms over the next few days, our fire weather risk is going to be fairly low. All right, that's a look at your Krueger's Quickcast. That's a look at the latest on the fires. Now let's get into our deeper dive. Just a reminder that there is that 24-hour streaming channel, Roku, Fire Stick, the works, right? And anywhere YouTube is available, including your smart TV. Check it out. So this is the low pressure system that has been really wreaking havoc on us. Now, yesterday was the most active day as expected. That's something I talked about this time yesterday, and even around midday I was talking about how active it's going to be, the most active of the storm system, because now that it's shifted off to the east, the center of the low is now in extreme western Nevada. The flow around that area of low pressure is going to cause any storms and rain that develops to move from north and work its way southward. So as we look at Futurecast, here's what we got. Now remember, when we looked at the HRRR forecast model during Krueger's QuickCast, it showed in the evening some shower and thunderstorm activity in the north end of the valley. Look at this forecast model. Here we go into around midday, in a pretty good agreement with the HRRR at this point. Most of it's in eastern Siskiyou and into Modoc County, but we could see a pop-up shower, maybe even a thunderstorm through the afternoon in the higher elevations. Now it gets a little bit more active here than what the HRRR is showing, but I think Trinity County still has that chance. Western Siskiyou, most likely Del Norte, Humboldt County, remaining shower and thunderstorm free, and then off into the eastern mountains, but still dry at 5 p.m. in the valley. Look at this. Done. That's it. So very quickly, once the sun sets this evening, we're going to see a lot of this activity break apart. But I think the HRRR forecast model has a pretty good handle on, if we see a thunderstorm develop north of Redding, and a strong one, that will have a difficult time completely dying out. And that's why we can't rule out some activity for Redding and maybe it working its way as far south as, say, the Red Bluff area. But otherwise, by the time we get into Friday morning, it's completely dry. But look at this. By the afternoon, you see that we're still seeing just enough leftover instability that we'll call it partly cloudy. There may be a stray shower and most likely no thunderstorms at that point. But there's that off chance for a thunderstorm, but dry for everyone else, including Siskiyou, Trinity County, and of course the coast. Then we go into Saturday, midday. We're seeing some afternoon clouds maybe, but should remain dry. And there's that system, by the way, coming in possibly on Sunday, impacting at least the coast. Forecast rain totals again. These are not to be taken to be exact, but this gives you an idea where most of the rain will be. No, take that out. We're not going to see anything there, but we are looking at that potential for some measurable rainfall, especially in Siskiyou and mountains, really. Most likely not seeing much in the way of measurable rainfall, minus that potential for a stray shower or thunderstorm later this evening and tonight for Redding and possibly into Red Bluff. But in the longer range, we are getting into a drier pattern moving in. We're also getting into a warmer pattern. Summer heat is expected to return. We've been spoiled. It's been nice temperature-wise, right? That cooler air, mild air is moving off. Now this is what's going to clip Northern California. We're starting to see better agreement that this is going to mainly move to the north. We were seeing signs, the last few days that it was going to kind of ride up over Northern California, even into Central California. It was having a hard time really kind of ironing out that detail. But that now looks like it's going to stay to the north. And we are going to be looking at those drier conditions here. But that could bring maybe a chance for maybe a morning shower, say along the coast, Trinity County, Western Siskiyou County. But I think everyone else will be dry on Sunday, and then that moves on out, high pressure starts to build back in. So this is that warming trend. I do expect temperatures to climb back up in the mid to even upper 90s for the warmer parts of the valley here as we go into the latter part of next week. That's, of course, the Climate Prediction Center putting us in the warmer than normal conditions here. So temperatures actually spike a little bit over the weekend. Friday and Saturday, and then a slight dip on Sunday with that system passing to our north. But then temperatures, they're climbing up. Now, they're going to spike, but then we'll probably see them dip again. So even though we will climb above normal, it's not going to be anything excessive. At this point, we should stay below 100 degrees, but, we get up to 98 degrees. It's getting uncomfortably close, isn't it? Taking a look at those lake levels, nothing new to really report here other than the fact that we're still looking pretty good, right? We're still over 100% of our historical average, and that is exactly where we want to be. We take a look at those wave heights, and there you can see they're fairly low here, but they will probably increase a little bit here going into your Friday. So just something to take into account if you need to be on a small boat. Keep a close eye on that. Winds from the northwest at 5 to 10 knots, waves from the north at 3 feet at 6 seconds, and from the northwest at 3 feet at about 11 seconds. So here is your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health, taking a look at your temperatures for Trinity County. Again, that chance for thunderstorms today, otherwise just a few scattered showers. Dry on Friday, maybe a light shower in the morning. on Sunday. Chances will diminish, though, as we go into Sunday afternoon. Your Dignity Health North Coast neighborhood forecast, mid-60s next 7 days. Maybe a shower in the morning on Sunday, otherwise dry over the next 7 days. And that's the case for the inland areas as well. Now, if we see any showers or thunderstorms for the inland areas, it would be for places like Orleans, Hoopa, Willow Creek. But otherwise, I don't expect to really see any activity to the west of that. If we even see anything for Orleans, Willow Creek, right? Then we take you to your Dignity Health Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Happy Camp about 81, 69 for Weed. There's that chance for thunderstorms. Dry on Friday. And then, as I mentioned, maybe western Siskiyou County, maybe places like Scott Valley westward, possibly seeing a shower Sunday morning. Otherwise, dry for everyone else on Sunday. There's that chance for thunderstorms today. Friday, a lingering chance for a shower or thunderstorm. And then as we go into the weekend, we dry things out and warm things up for next week as well. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, you're talking temperatures in the 70s. For Friday, yeah, maybe a lingering shower and then dry over the weekend, warming up for next week. Your Dignity Health Valley neighborhood forecast to the south, you can see about temperatures upper 70s, 78 degrees for Hamilton City, 80 out in Chico, and 80 degrees in Oroville. Here's your Chico 7-day forecast. You're dry today, you're dry for the next 7 days and getting back in the mid-90s. Yes, that summer heat is returning by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Your Valley neighborhood forecast to the north, temperature is mainly in the low 80s. You can take out to Whiskeytown at about 78 and 77 degrees out in Lakehead. And maybe a slight chance for a stray shower for places like Red Bluff later this evening and probably closer to tonight. There's your 7-day forecast for Redding. Again, that slight chance late this afternoon, early this evening. It could even be in the form of a thunderstorm. We'll have to watch that closely, especially if it comes from the north. And then we're dry for Friday through the weekend, maybe a few clouds, a little bit cooler on Sunday, and then climbing back up in the mid to upper 90s by next Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, that's your morning update. I'll be back again at noon with the latest forecast. Have a great morning.
Fire spreads quickly. Don't wait until it's too late. Garmin's Tractor Service specializes in field mowing and light tractor work to help protect your family, your property, and those around you. We're fully insured, locally licensed, and ready to help you create the defensible space you need. Call or text Garmin's Tractor Service today. Protect what matters before fire strikes you.